We're here for opening weekend of the 2025 Epcot International Food and Wine Festival, and while our channel might be known for some pretty bad dad jokes here and there, this is guaranteed to be our cheesiest video of the year. You're welcome. Hi-ho everybody, this is Rob with Ear Scouts coming to you from the Epcot International Food and Wine Festival, and this year we're going to shake things up a little bit. The last few years we have eaten every single thing at the festival for our video. We basically spend the first 3 or 4 days eating breakfast, lunch, and dinner at Epcot, trying to pack it all in so that we can give you the reviews of every food item at the festival. Unfortunately, this year we had some scheduling conflicts, so we're just not able to do it, but I gotta say, I'm kind of relieved because I'm really looking forward to actually enjoying all the food that we try this year. We're gonna take our time with it, and we're gonna make a series of videos, not just one. So this first video is going to be our cheesiest video of the series. It's Emile's Fromage Montage. We're gonna go around the festival and eat some of the most delicious cheese-based items and share with you which ones you should pick if you should choose to do the Fromage Montage while you're here. We've got a lot of delicious dairy to devour, so let's get to it. Our first stop is Harvest Hollow. This is an addition that they made to the festival last year. It's over here kind of behind Journey into Imagination with Figment on your way into World Showcase. They really stepped it up this year though. The theming is great. There's some storytelling here from the Imagineers, which I'm loving. There's also a fun little kids activity area for the kids to burn off some of that sugar they've been consuming all day. And the 3 booths, which were all really great last year, are all back, including one that has our favorite festival dessert from last year, and I'm really excited to try it today because it is part of the Fromage Montage. But before we get into that, we should explain to you, in case you're not aware, what Emile's Fromage Montage is all about. As soon as you come into the park, you should pick up one of these. This is the Festival Passport, and inside you're gonna find menus for all the different food booths and activities you can do here at the festival. But most importantly for today's mission, on the back page, you're gonna find these little spots for stamps. This is where you're gonna collect stamps in your passport for Emile's Fromage Montage. Emile, of course, is the brother of Remy, and he has a fixation on fromage. He loves cheese, and so this little food scavenger hunt is dedicated to Emile. The idea is you're gonna go to select festival food booths that have an Emile's Fromage Montage item on the menu. When you purchase that item, you will present your passport, they will stamp it for you, and when you collect all of your stamps, you're gonna get a special fun surprise at no additional charge. I love these different festival scavenger hunts. They're fun to do. If you're not sure what to try at the festival, this is kind of a fun way to get a sampling of things and take part in a fun festival activity at the same time. So that's the meat and potatoes of Emile's Fromage Montage, but now let's move on to the best part, the cheese. Our first cheesy item comes from Forest and Field, one of the returning food booths at Harvest Hollow. It's a pumpkin mascarpone ravioli, and full disclosure, we did not love this one last year. When we got it, the pasta itself was kind of leathery and dried out. It didn't have a whole lot of flavor on the inside either. This year, everything is better about this dish. First of all, it wasn't dried out. It was perfectly al dente, and it tasted really freshly prepared. The filling had so much flavor this year. There was definitely a little sweet pumpkin in there, but there was also almost like a meatiness. It had a good combination of savory and sweet. On top were these big shavings of Pecorino Romano cheese, which brought a lot of cheesy flavor to the dish. Last year, we did not recommend this dish. This year, definitely one we would recommend trying out and maybe considering as part of your Fromage Montage. Next door at Milled and Mulled, we got what was our favorite dessert from the entire festival last year. It is a Boursin fig and balsamic cheesecake. And I know that maybe sounds a little odd to have vinegar in a cheesecake, but trust us on this, it is a delicious dessert. In fact, this year they actually changed the name. Technically this year it is called the fall fruit cheesecake. I'm guessing that balsamic in the title was throwing people off last year. To be honest, you don't really taste the balsamic in there. I think that is a component of the Boursin cheese they used to make it, and there's maybe just a hint. We were anxious to try it though because we loved it so much last year, and when we got it, we could tell they had changed things up a little bit. The good news is this is still delicious. It's absolutely worth trying. The bad news is we did kind of like it better last year. This year they added a big cakey layer underneath that cheesecake. It almost had like a spice cake flavor to it, and it was nice. It's not that we didn't like it. I just felt like the dessert last year was richer and a little bit more indulgent than it was this year. Once again, however, you do have those fresh figs in there, which bring some brightness. While we don't love it quite as much as we did last year, this one is still definitely in the running for the best of the Fromage Montage, and who knows, maybe even one of the best desserts at the festival. Our next stop is the lovely islands of Hawaii, where we're going to try yet another cheesecake. I know, it's a rough life covering the Food and Wine Festival. We have to eat so much cheesecake. Last year, this booth had a macadamia nut cheesecake. This year, the sponsor of the booth is Dole, and surprise, surprise, the cheesecake has transformed into a pineapple cheesecake. The good news is it's adorable. This is probably the most Instagrammable item on the Fromage Montage, and I think that's what Dole was counting on here. Lots of pictures on social media of pineapples. It's very cute. Unfortunately, it is definitely not our favorite item on the montage so far. Imagine that chapstick made a pineapple flavor. That is the flavor of this cheesecake. It's got a really super artificial pineapple flavor, and it almost has like a waxy taste to it. I don't know how else to describe it. On the plus side, it is nice and light and fluffy. It's not a super heavy cheesecake. It's also not overly sweet, which I appreciated. They still have that macadamia nut on there to bring some crunch, but really none of that could save it from the fake chapstick flavor. So if Dole's gonna sponsor this next year, they should probably throw in some real actual Dole pineapple because that's what this cheesecake needed. We have made our way into the World Showcase, and our first stop is the Germany Pavilion, where you're going to find not one, but two booths. Our first stop is the Alps. Oh, stinky cheese, oh, stinky cheese, you make me think of Christmas. So whenever we get the stinky cheese in the Alps, I am reminded of a comment that I made years ago. I described this stinky cheese, which is raclette cheese, to be clear. It is not technically stinky cheese. I call it stinky cheese because you can smell it from a mile away. But it had like holiday spiced fruit, I think it was. And I described the flavor as stinky feet Christmas. And for some reason, that has stuck with people, and I get people to this day who will mention Stinky Feet Christmas. So we are back at the Stinky Feet booth. For Food and Wine, you can get your stinky cheese one of two ways, either with ham, potatoes, cornichons, and bread, or the exact same thing without the ham. I literally watch them prepare it. They have everything done, and then they ask ham or no ham, and they stick the ham on there. So that's the only difference. The ham over the years has become more and more like lunch meat ham. I feel like the first time I had it, it was more like a true carved ham, and each year it just becomes more lunch meaty. So it is a full cold cut this year. That is what you're getting. You're getting some cold cut ham. If you'd like a slice of ham, it doesn't cost much more to add it. So I would say go ahead and get it. But otherwise, these dishes are the same. So we're going to kind of review them together. The cheese itself is a little bit milder than it has been over the years, but at the end of the day, it's still a big glob of cheese that they just scrape off of a melty wheel. So how can that not be delicious? How you feel about it though is going to depend on how you feel about raclette cheese. If you like fondue, raclette is a common fondue ingredient, so you'll probably dig it if you like fondues. It is a little on the funky side, but not nearly as much as it has been in years past. I feel like each year it gets a little bit more mild, and I think people probably like it that way. It does come on a bed of new potatoes that are nice and soft, and there's also a baguette in there and some cornichon, which cuts against the richness of everything else. At the end of the day though, I think it is something you should consider putting on your Fromage Montage. It is the cheesiest of the items, and if you dig funky cheeses, you're probably going to dig this. Next door in the Germany pavilion is another returning favorite, Schenkennudeln. This is basically German mac and cheese with little bits of ham. It is delicious. It's a different mix of cheeses than you would normally find in American style mac and cheese. It's a little bit more of a mild and mellow cheese flavor. There's also a lot of nutmeg in there. My favorite part though is that crust of cheese on top. That is always the best part of any mac and cheese, and it is also true of Schenkennudeln. At the end of the day, you can't go wrong. With mac and cheese and ham, if those things sound good to you, you should definitely make this a stamp on your Fromage Montage. Our next stop is Spain, where we're gonna find another new festival item, and it's another slice of cheesecake. At this point, we have more slices of cheesecake than an episode of The Golden Girls. And as a big Golden Girls fan, I'm okay with that. As a fan of cheesecake, I'm even more okay with that because this is the best cheesecake you're gonna find at this festival. It was so good. If you've ever had Italian cheesecake, you know how it's a little bit different than New York style. It's a little bit fluffier. It's not quite as sweet. It's rich, but in a different way. It's more of like a ricotta base than a cream cheese base. That is what you're getting with this one. A little bit of a citrusy flavor to it, but what makes it magical is that orange sauce that they've added. It's got little bits of orange peel in there. It's almost like a marmalade. It brings such a depth of flavor to this dish. There's also some nice freshly sliced orange on the side to brighten things up even more. It is my favorite cheesecake of the festival this year. It even beats out last year's favorite, the Boursin fig and balsamic. If you've got a hankering for cheesecake and you want a slice on your Fromage Montage, this is the one to get. We're definitely going to do a definitive ranking of the Fromage Montage items at the end of this video, but so far, I think that cheesecake is an early favorite. The only thing that comes close for me so far is the Schenkennudeln, which I love every year. But we're coming up on another one of my favorite things from the festival. It is a griddled cheese from Greece, and I can't wait to get there and taste it again and see if it's as delicious as it has been in years past. Let's go find out. Greece is in its usual spot between Morocco and Japan, and it has its usual menu, including my favorite, the griddled cheese. That is the Emile's Fromage Montage item. This is also one that you can pretty easily make yourself at home. Doesn't mean you shouldn't get it here because it's delicious, but I chatted with the chefs in the booth. It is a drunken goat cheese. That's basically what this is, a big fat slice of drunken goat, and they put it on the griddle and melt it until it's nice and brown and crunchy, and then they top it with some honey and some toasted pistachio. Boom, done. Super simple. You should make it for your next cocktail party because it is the perfect accompaniment to pretty much any beverage. This one is very different though from the cheese dish over at the Alps, whereas that one is kind of more mellow and funky. This one is sharp and salty. It is a goat cheese, so if you're not a fan of that flavor that goat milk brings to cheese, you might not love this one, but to me, it's actually one of the most approachable goat cheeses. If you've never had it before, this is the perfect first way to try it. Drunken goat, they actually make it by soaking the whole cheese in some red wine, and that just gives it a little extra layer of flavor. For me though, brown crispy cheese is one of my favorite things. I love that flavor, and that's basically what this is. With a little bit of sweetness from honey and some crunch from the pistachio, you can't go wrong with this one. Believe it or not, we are at our final cheesy stop on the Fromage Montage before we go get our completer treat. It is the Brazil food booth, where you're going to find pau de queijo. Now, if you're a big fan of Skipper Canteen and Magic Kingdom, this is the secret menu item over there. When you get it at Skipper Canteen, there are actually some sauces that come with it, and I think that's what this version is missing. I wish there was a little bit of a dipping sauce. This is one of those, though, that it really depends on the moment you get it, whether it's freshly prepared or not. I will say, though, this year was one of the best versions of this dish that we've had. It was definitely freshly baked. The outside was nice and crunchy, and the inside was gooey. This is not a strong cheese flavor, though. It's very mild. It almost tastes eggy to me. It's kind of the flavor I would describe it as. This is a good one for people who are maybe really picky eaters, who want something that has a mild flavor to it. There's not a lot of powerful flavors going on here. I did notice that the portions were larger than last year. Last year they gave you 2. This year it's up to 3, and it was actually a pretty filling amount too. This is a hefty snack and the perfect one to share. I don't know that I would put this on the top of my Fromage Montage list, but if you've never had pau de queijo before, this is a perfect place to try it out for the first time. And now we have arrived at Shimmering Sips to collect our reward for completing Emile's Fromage Montage. This year, your reward is a key lime Dole Whip that is swirled with cheesecake flavored Dole Whip, and it is topped with some graham cracker crumbles. I kind of like the cheesecake flavor okay, but I'm not a big fan of the key lime Dole Whip. It does have a very kind of artificial lime flavor to me. It tastes kind of like a lime sucker that you would have gotten when you were a kid. If you like that flavor, you're probably gonna really enjoy this. I did ask, and this is not, unfortunately, a plant-based completer treat this year. They think it's probably from that cheesecake, but they did say if you're a plant-based eater, they would make sure to get something for you as your completer treat that was vegan to fit your diet. The whole thing comes in a collectible, kind of like a stemless wine glass made of plastic with an Emile's Fromage Montage logo. We have a small collection of these at home now, and I will add this to the collection. But of course, in order to collect this treat, you have to select 5 items from the Fromage Montage, and to help you in that selection process, we're going to rank all of the Fromage Montage items, starting with our least favorite all the way up to the grand prize winner for 2025. Since the 2 raclette cheese dishes are basically the same dish, we're just going to count those as one, which brings us to 8 options that you have for the Fromage Montage. Coming in at number 8 is one of the many cheesecakes that we ate today, the pineapple cheesecake at Hawaii. This one was so cute, so adorable, but not a winner. Just couldn't get past that chapstick flavor. Coming in at number 7, I like this one, I just didn't love it, the pau de queijo over at Brazil. Again, if you've never had it before, it's a unique thing to try at the festival, but not one of my favorites. Moving on to number 6, another one that I like. Pretty much all of these I enjoy that we have left, but if I had to eliminate one from my top 5, it would probably be the stinky cheese. I think that one's just not for everyone. Some folks really love raclette, others not fans of the funky cheeses. So I'm gonna put that one in at number 6. So now we're coming into the top 5, the things we think you should put on your Fromage Montage. Number 5 also wins our Most Improved award. It's the pumpkin mascarpone ravioli from over at Forest and Field. This one is good this year. I mean, it's not my favorite thing here, but it was really good, and I like that it's something savory to balance out all the sweet stuff. Number 4, this is where it gets really tough, because all the ones that are left I just love. But I'm gonna go with the griddle cheese from Greece, because I do think that one's pretty easy to replicate. It's a dish that you could kind of sort of make on your own. And now it is time, drum roll please, for the top 3 bronze, silver, and gold medal items at the Fromage Montage this year. Number 3, claiming the bronze, is actually our favorite from last year. It is now called the Fall Fruit Cheesecake, aka the Boursin Fig and Balsamic Cheesecake. Loved it last year, still really liked it this year, but it did not take the top prize. Number 2 in the silver medal is a returning favorite, Schenkennudeln. This one is a winner year after year. It's definitely my favorite of the savory items on the menu. And finally, our gold medal winner this year is a new item, the Basque Cheesecake from Spain. So good. Cheesecake lovers, marmalade lovers, Paddington lovers, you're all going to love the Basque cheesecake. I definitely recommend putting this one on your Fromage Montage. While that may be all we have for today's video, we've got 2 more coming your way really soon. Let us know in the comments which one of these you want to see us make first. One we're calling New Kids on the Block. We're going to be trying all of the new food items at the festival and ranking our favorites for you. And then we're gonna check out those returning favorites. We got a working title for that one. I think we're going with Still the One or Over and Done. I don't know. It doesn't have the same ring to it as New Kids on the Block. I guess let us know what you think the name of that video should be too in the comments. But if you wanna see those videos, you do need to subscribe to our channel and ring that bell so you'll be notified whenever new videos come out. Before we go, I wanna give a huge thank you to our amazing Patreon family. If you'd like to get a free trial to Patreon, just head on over to patreon.com/earscouts and you can sign up for free. Until next time, don't forget to think happy thoughts, everybody. We'll see you again real soon.